If being powerful is so cool and so aspirational in the fitness industry, why do so few people do it right? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk to you about primers. Primers are a specific section of your workout session that basically bridge the gap between the warm-up and the main chunky lifting part of it. It's something that's light, it's something that's snappy, it's something that's designed to continue to warm up the tissues, but also designed to really start activating the central nervous system, the connection between the brain and the tissues. So over the next 3.5 to 1,600 minutes, I'm going to be walking you through a little bit about what exactly they are, why we should be doing them, and how to integrate them into your workout. Okay, so I've already said that there's something that's light, there's something that's snappy, but what exactly is a primer, and what would an example of that be? They are basically lightly resisted explosive movements that cue your body and your brain to not only continue to an extension point of a particular movement, but continue to accelerate through that extension point. As an example, the main difference between a normal press up and an explosive, say, clap press up, is the fact that the amount of force that you need to generate to perform a clap press up requires you to continue to accelerate through the extension of the elbow enough that you basically slingshot yourself up against the force of gravity to give you some hang time in the air. Whereas a normal press up, you're actually slowing down towards the end to just about lock the elbows out before then dropping down into the next rep. Let's start with why we want to be doing these. As I said in kind of the first 5 seconds of my clickbaity intro, so many people say they want to be powerful, say they want to be explosive, say they want to move well, and embody everything under the bracket of being a functional athlete, but proper, well-executed, dynamic and explosive work seems to be something that so few people do in the gym, and the ones that do, I wouldn't necessarily say they do it properly. To ensure that we're capable of performing movements in a dynamic and explosive way is not only incredibly good for your physique, it not only gives you greater foundations of strength development, it also means that you're going to be a hell of a lot safer in anything you turn your hand to outside of the gym. Being able to cut, turn and sprint, change direction, jump properly, land properly, and run around a park or a field playing football with your mates. These are real life examples of things that are needed to be executed, not at an elite level. I'm not trying to turn everyone into an Olympic sprinter or an NFL player, but being able to execute these things well enough for them to look smooth, not pick up an injury, and not cause you to pull a hamstring so that you're flipping written off for the next 2 weeks is kind of crucial if you want to lay claim to being a good, proper global all-rounder and a functional athlete. I haven't really hidden my belief over the last couple of years that I think power development is something that is hugely undercommunicated, hugely misunderstood by the modern fitness industry at large, and including a well-executed primer, 3 to 5 reps of something, 30 seconds rest, 2 to 3 rounds of a lightly resisted explosive movement that's going to be relevant to the main compounds that you're going to be lifting, is the lowest hanging fruit and the easiest kind of gateway drug into developing the power that I'm talking about. And for those of you that don't even care about being powerful, but you just want to be able to lift as much as you possibly can in the gym, considering it's your CNS, it's your central nervous system, that connection between your brain and your tissues that is literally the dictating factor of how much you can lift. Considering a primer is going to activate and innovate your central nervous system better than anything else, you are literally going to be stronger if you invest probably the best part of about 3 minutes doing some of this stuff after your warm-up before you then move into your main compound of the day. So what exactly would they look like? Well, let's have a look now. If you enjoy doing full body sessions, there's nothing wrong with doing 2 sets of an upper body primer and 2 sets of a lower body. But if you're anything like me and you split your sessions, upper body to lower body, let's go over a couple of examples of how we can integrate some good quality primers now. So upper body to start with. I'm going to give you 3 examples of an upper body primer. And again, where to put this in. You've done your warm-up, you've done your general warming phase, some mobility, some kind of sprint and innovation drills, some more dynamic work. So the warm-up's done, the main compound, so like the first chunky lifting bit of the session is here. The primer is kind of the thing that you do in the no man's land between your warm-up and the main part of the session. So upper body, example number 1, a kneeling medicine ball throw. One of the reasons I like to do it kneeling is when you really want to focus on the power generated from the upper body, taking the lower body out of it by getting down on your knees and not being able to kind of extend with the ankle and the knee and the hip. That classic triple extension means that your brain obviously becomes aware that the big lower body powerhouse is out of action today, so it makes sure that the upper body has to work twice as hard. Leaning forward, once you pass that point of no return, explode with the medicine ball. That can either go into a wall, into a plyo box, or have a partner across the gym that's just going to palm it down and then throw it back to you a second later. Again, 3 to 5 reps of this, rest about 30 to 45 seconds, 2 to 3 rounds, that is enough. Example number 2, an explosive press up. This could either be a Superman press up, a clap press up, or simply one where your hands leave the floor and then obviously hopefully return to the same place. There's a little bit more eccentric load with this variation because what goes up must come down. The fact that you're clapping in the air means that you are going to have to return to the floor, and that's going to be a higher level of eccentric load than simply falling forward from your knees. But if you're somebody, especially a guy, that is able to bench press your body weight for around kind of minimum 5 reps, the eccentric load from coming down from a clap press up is not going to be doing you any damage. But an explosive press up variation, however that may look, there are loads of different options available, is my second example for an upper body primer. And my third example mixes it up a little bit and moves over towards pull levers now instead of push levers. Medicine ball throw, it's a horizontal push. An explosive press up variation, it's a horizontal push. A full body from standing medicine ball slam is my third example. Scooping your hands round the ball at the top, throwing the hips back and basically pulling yourself down into a hip hinge position. When your arms stay straight and locked to the elbows and you're pushing your palms downwards, that is activating the lats. It's making sure that they continue to accelerate through the motion. And it's a great way to get your central nervous system and your pull levers primed for the session ahead. Rapid fire today, guys, because I've had a monster, so we're going to move straight on to 3 examples of lower body primers. Number 1, box jumps. These have been made famous by explosive athletes, and American footballers love this. And pre-modern social media, a lot of these videos used to pop up on YouTube with some guys making some absolutely incredible feats of athleticism. In my opinion, anything above about 50 inches from standing is good, like you're a flipping decent athlete if you're doing that. There are 2 primary benefits of box jumps that a lot of people don't really talk about. One of them is that you get that complete triple extension of the ankle, the knee, and the hip. And from that hip extension, we then need to pull up into hip flexion as quickly as possible. Basically, because we can't be waiting around too long in the air before we bring our feet up to hopefully land on top of the box. Very quick extension followed by very quick flexion is an amazing component to have in a primer because it replicates a lot of real life, right? The second benefit of this is that it's concentric only. We land under control on the box. Don't land on the box, stand up and then jump off and then thud your feet into the ground. One of the purposes of box jumps is it's a way to get a maximal kind of concentric activation with very little eccentric load. We're aiming for a nice soft landing on top of the box. And then from there, step down under control. Number 2, an RFD broad jump from a bench. So this is where we take a little bit of pre-stretch out of it. The feet are already kind of dug into the floor or hovering just above. We don't have them 12 inches above the floor and then slam the feet in from there and then propel ourselves forward. We're leaning back a little bit with the feet already in contact. We then roll forward and then from there explode with very little pre-stretch into a broad jump, this time jumping horizontally instead of vertically, and control the landing as always as much as we can. And the third one is a little bit different. We're going to mix this up. I haven't actually seen any data on whether or not this would be particularly effective, but I'm a huge fan of it. A piece of erg kit. I'm not a huge fan of doing this on a rower or a ski erg, so it's either Concept 2 bike erg or any brand of assault bike, and basically go for a 6 to 8 second maximum sprint, but with one caveat. The goal is to go from a completely static position with your feet on the pedals. I wouldn't really be worried about what the top end speed was. I would encourage you to anchor into the objective of getting up to that top speed as quickly as you flipping can. So it's not about taking a rolling start into it and then getting that maximum cadence on second 6. You want to really flip in, lock in with your upper body and thump your way through that pedal to get to top speed as quick as you can. Throw in a ton of information at you today, guys, but I hope it all did make sense. If you did enjoy this video, please do smash that like button. I genuinely want to just emphasize this one more time. Being fast and dynamic and elastic and explosive are all susceptible to training. They are not going to injure you if you do them right. This is basically a gateway drug into power development that has the lowest barrier to entry. It takes you 3 or 4 flipping minutes after your warm-up to get this stuff done. It gets you used to doing some kind of maximal intent activity. You literally increase your potential to lift super heavy in the weightlifting portion of the session. And it's working your tissues and innovating your central nervous system in this way that is going to prevent you from getting injured in the long term, give you a better physique. You get a little bit of an aerobic benefit because these things are flipping explosive and require oxygen to recover. The lowest hanging fruit to becoming a better all-round athlete is ensure that you include a little bit of power development work in your training on a weekly basis. And the lowest hanging fruit to develop that power output, in my humble opinion, is introducing a primer, bridging the gap between the warm-up and the main part of the session. All of the benefits I've just mentioned in regards to central nervous system, strength potential, injury prevention, wrapped up in a little flipping package that takes about 3.5 minutes. There is no downside to this, and I encourage every single one of you that wants to be a true global all-rounder, prepped for anything, to start introducing this stuff from today. Boom, that is me done, guys. Hope you did enjoy this. If you have not yet done so, please make sure you subscribe. Any questions on anything, if you need a little bit more clarity or further elaboration on anything I've covered today, please do put it down in the comment section below. And as always, squad, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you all in the next video.